Hello, everyone. This is Jack Wu, your host for Success Edge. I have been an entrepreneur for over 20 years. There is not a day that people don't ask me what are my secrets of scale my company and eventually made me tons of money and became a multi-millionaire. So in today's episode, I want to talk about 7 sins that stop an entrepreneur like yourself of being financially free. The first sin, you are not focusing on increase your cash flow. Most people always want to play the defensive mode. How do I cut down $5? How do I cut down $50? How do I just sustain what I have as an entrepreneur? Instead, they should be focusing on every moment. How do I get my profit? How do I get my revenue grow from $10,000 a month to $50,000 a month? And it all boils down to one word. You got to learn how to sell. And nobody is going to come to your house and knock on your door and give you a big deal. Or there is no customer is ever going to walk up to you and say, you know what, I want to buy this item from you. I've been in the sales business for 20 years. You have to be proactively swim out to the ship, not waiting for the ship to come in. So the sin that most entrepreneurs make is that they're not focusing on creating activities. They're not focusing on going out there and making sales. If you don't do that, then your income is not going to be high enough for you to scale the company. So that is sin number 1, is that most people just sitting around and develop some fancy website, and they might even have a decent product, but they're not having enough salespeople to go out there and market the product. Sin number 2, you are spending without a budget, right? And I've done that many times years ago. Oh, by the way, everything that I talk about, every sin that I talk about, I done it. The only difference between me now and the me 20 years ago is that I graduated. And that's why I'm willing to tell you today is that, everything that I'm teaching you, I have done it, okay? So I'm not going to be one of those guys that's going to go on social media or talking to you at a live event and say, you know what, I never done any of this stuff, man. You guys shouldn't do it. And I'm a perfect person. No, never, ever. Did I ever say stuff like that? Or will I ever going to say stuff like that? Because I'm a byproduct of someone who made a lot of stupid mistakes in business, when it comes to money, in every aspect. And I eventually got the right mentors. I learned from them. And ultimately, which is the key, I applied what they taught me and I'm no longer making those old mistakes again. You know what I'm saying? So sin number 2 is that, you spending without a budget. You know what most people do when they make $10,000 a month or $5,000 a month or $2,000 a month? It doesn't even matter, right? Let's say they make $5,000 a month. What do? The first thing they do is they deposit those $5,000 in a personal account. And that's all they have. And they're just gonna spend all $5,000 and expect that their company can scale and they become rich one day. Let me tell you what the rich people do. They have 3 accounts, at least 3 accounts, right? If you make $5,000, okay, 33% of those $5,000 should go into a tax account. That is the first thing, because you gotta pay tax on that, right? Because all business owners, we are 1099. You have to pay tax. You're getting the money in, but you haven't paid tax yet, right? And the other account that you should have is called the business account. 33%. Go to that business account. Whether it's, spend an extra $500 on advertisement or spend another few $100 to buy a new machine in your business, whatever that might be, right? And then the 34% should go to what? Your personal account. That's where you spend those money for your personal expenses, and those extra money that you have, invest into different type of investments of your choices. You got what I'm saying? So if you don't have the 34, you just spend whatever you want, whenever you want, that is a big sin. That's why your company will eventually run out of cash and you're owing all the debts, you're owing government IRS tax, and ultimately you're not focusing, you're not able to focus on the main thing. And sin number 3, you spending your money based on future earning. I remember when I first started my business, I worked extremely hard, right? And I was able to go out there every single month, make a minimum of $15,000 a month. And I was age 21 years old. That was not bad, right? $15,000 20 some odd years ago was great income. But you know what the big problem for me? It wasn't because I didn't make money. One of the biggest sin that I made was, I make $15,000, all right? And I was excited about it. Then, you know what happened? Before the next pay run comes, I already spent next pay run's money, right? I will go to Las Vegas every single month. I will go party. I would take all my friends out for dinner. So I'm making $15,000. In my mind, I'm thinking, you know what? Next month, I'm gonna make $15,000 anyway. It's based on future earning. Guess what I did? I spent $35,000, right? So I'm negative now. So as an entrepreneur, you have to monitor that. You can't just say, you know what, this month I'm making $5,000. Next month I will guarantee to make $5,000. It's the mindset thing, right? So that was a big sin for me, and I know it's a big sin for a lot of entrepreneurs out there. So don't spend money, your money, based on future commissions, future earnings. So that's a big sin right there. Sin number 4 is paying the minimum on your credit cards. Now, we also have credit cards because at the end, we have to build our credits. But spending money on credit limit and not able to pay it off every single month is a big sin for an entrepreneur. And if you're owing, a credit card, a bank account, a Visa card, you have a balance of $5,000 and you simply paying the minimum of $250 every single month, the bank is going to love you for it. Because if you're simply paying the minimum, it will take you many, many years to even pay off the balance. By the time you pay it off, you will end up paying at least double or triple of the balance, all right? Depends on the interest rate they charge you, right? So paying minimum on your credit cards are the big sin. You need to use your credit cards, but the key is that you gotta pay it off every single month and don't spend based on the credit limit you have simply because you have those credit limit. If you spend it, it's because you know that you have the capability when it comes to paying it back on time, right? Sin number 5 is buying stuff based on emotion. Ask yourself a question. Do you really, really, really want this item, or do you really need it? Every single time when you want to go buy something so desperately, so excitingly, and I'm going to challenge you to wait for like maybe 10 days. If every single day in the morning you still get excited about that one item after 10 days, okay, go get it. But I promise you 99% of the time when people buying stuff, it was just based on instant emotion, instant gratification. And after they buy it, they don't even use it. I'm just talking about things that's practical here. Sin number 6, here we go. You are investing without knowing anything about that investment. Just because your friends tell you, oh my God, this is a hot stock. Oh my God, this real estate property is amazing. We're all excited. We all usually get excited, including myself many years ago, about things other people talk about is great, right? And I was one of those guys. I still remember I invested money in real estate based on my friends told me, you know what, we got to get into this property. And I got in. What did I ended up with? Lost a lot of money. And it's nobody else's fault. Eventually, I realized it was my fault because I didn't do my own study. I didn't do my own research. I was simply investing my money with people that I just liked, somebody that I get along with. And now I learned from it. I will no longer investing any money, not even a penny, into anything that I don't know about, into anything that I didn't do research on. You should do the same because that's a big sin that will kill a lot of your cash flow, and you work extremely hard to accumulate your money. But if you make 1 or 2 wrong mistakes, all those money could be gone. And you have to restart everything all over again. And you don't want to go through that process if you don't have to. Sin number 7, which is the final one, most people only make money to just save money and put in a low yield account. You know what? The only reason that I make a lot of money is to get into a situation where I can invest my money, right? So don't just make money to save money. Make money to invest your money, right? Of course, you should have your checking account, you should have your business account, you should have your emergency fund account that can cover you 6 to 12 months of expenses if something goes wrong. But after that, you got to get into investment that will allow you to have high yield rate of return. Now, I'm not going to get into what kind of investment on this episode today because at the end, everybody have their own options when it comes to investment. But the bottom line of the bottom line is that whatever you invest in, you make sure that you have the right advisors, you make sure that you know where your money goes to, the risk tolerance, and the time horizon, right? It's important when you get into investment, the two questions you gotta be asking yourself is, number one, is how much time do I have? Time horizon. And number two, what are my risk tolerance, right? Then you choose whatever investment that's right for you. So I hope that the 7 sins I just talked about is something that you start to avoid, something that you start to make a note of it, because if you can literally avoid all the 7 sins I talk about, you're gonna become a very successful entrepreneur one day. I wish somebody taught me those informations when I was in elementary school, middle school, and high school and university, but I didn't get those informations because I went to school. I got those informations through real life experience, and most importantly, I was able to surround myself with few great mentors in my life, and I was always constantly open up my ears and listen to them and also apply what they taught me. All right, I hope today's episode is an episode that truly gave you step by step how to create real wealth for your business and most importantly in your personal life. Okay, with that, I want to see every single one of you at my next episode of Success Edge. Take care. Goodbye.